हेलो प्रिंसिपल्स एंड वाइस प्रिंसिपल्स, कैसे हैं आप सब। आज के हमारी इस एनईपी की वीडियो का टॉपिक होने वाला है टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ एंड इंटीग्रेशन। देखो, जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी जो है वो काफ़ी ज़्यादा एडवांस हो चुकी है और एजुकेशन फील्ड में भी ये डिस्ट्रप्शंस लेकर आ रही है। तो एनईपी वाज मच अवेयर इन 2020 कि जो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ है वो हमें एजुकेशन के बेनिफिट में करना है। तो टेक्नोलॉजी को लेकर एनईपी के क्या विज़न और मिशंस हैं, आज की वीडियो में हम वो देखेंगे। Now, what it states, India is a global leader in information and communication technology (ICT) and in other cutting-edge domains such as space. The Digital India campaign is helping to transform the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. It is very important कि जो डिजिटल इंडिया कैंपेन है, डिजिटल इंडिया कैंपेन की क्या टैगलाइन होगी, मतलब बेसिक ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या होगा। इट इज़ ट्रांसफरिंग अ नेशन इनटू डिजिटली empowered society and knowledge economy. While education will play a critical role in this transformation, technology itself will play an important role in the improvement of educational process and outcomes. Thus, relationship between the technology and education at all levels is bidirectional. When we say that bidirectional, कि जो भी technology है that is helping the education and the education is helping the technology. So the technological improvements will bring more vibrant and more sophisticated education levels, and the more sophisticated and vibrant education levels will bring more latest technologies. So the benefit is bidirectional, the relationship is bidirectional कि एजुकेशन से जो है टेक्नोलॉजी का भला होगा और टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ करके एजुकेशन का भला होगा. दिस इज द बाई डायरेक्शनल मीनिंग. Given the explosive pace of technological advancement development, allied with the sheer creativity of tech-savvy teachers and entrepreneurs, including student entrepreneurs, it is certain that technology will impact education in multiple ways, only some of which can be foreseen at the present time. When at the time of this NEP 2020, the contributors of this NEP कैन जस्ट फोरसी सम ऑफ द इम्पैक्ट्स, बट इसके 5 साल बाद हम जब देखेंगे कि एजुकेशन में इसका बहुत सारा इम्पैक्ट आ गया है. नाउ जो भी प्रोजेक्ट हैं, जो भी कुछ चीज़ें हैं, सारी की सारी हम एआई को यूज़ कर रहे हैं एजुकेशन में. प्रेजेंटेशन में हम एआई को यूज़ कर रहे हैं. इसके लिए जो टेक्नोलॉजी है वो एक्सप्लोसिव पेस पर डेवलप कर गई with sheer creativity of tech savvy teachers. Now the teachers are getting more and more tech savvy. The students are becoming entrepreneurs. You have seen so many students, young students, who have become entrepreneurs just because of this technological advancement. Educational software and hardware will not just change what the students learn in the classroom, but how they learn. Because of the technological integration, it is not only be about what they learn, rather the emphasis is that hardware and the software is changing how they learn. डिजिटल क्लासरूम्स बन रहे हैं, AR और VR क्लासेस में आ रही है, ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी एंड वर्चुअल रियलिटी. सो जो स्टूडेंट पहले कभी केवल एक ब्लैक बोर्ड पे देखते थे, अब वो वर्चुअल रियलिटी में उस जगह जाकर उसे फील करते हैं. सो 3D एनिमेशंस आ रहे हैं. सो हाउ दे लर्न इज ऑल्सो चेंजिंग. And thus these areas and beyond will require extensive research on both the technological as well as educational fronts. Now it is very important. An autonomous body, National Educational Technology Forum, NETF, National Educational Technology Forum, will be created to provide a platform for the free exchange of ideas on the use of technology to enhance learning, assessment planning, administration and so on, both for the school and the higher education. सो जो नेशनल एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी फोरम होगा वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म देगा, सो वेयर द पीपल कैन फ्रीली एक्सचेंज देयर आइडियाज़ टू यूज़ द टेक्नोलॉजी इन द फील्ड ऑफ लर्निंग, असेसमेंट, प्लानिंग, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एंड सो ऑन. द एम ऑफ द NETF, नेशनल एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी फोरम, will be to facilitate decision making on the induction का मतलब उस टेक्नोलॉजी को लाने में, डिप्लॉयमेंट उसे क्लासरूम में एम्प्लॉय करने में, the use of technology by providing to the leadership of education institutions, states, central governments and other stakeholders the latest knowledge and research, as well as the opportunity to consult and share the best practices. जो NETF है वो फैसिलिटेट करेगी ऑन द फ्रंट्स ऑफ डिसीजन मेकिंग, डिप्लॉयमेंट, यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, लीडरशिप इन एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस एंड द लेटेस्ट नॉलेज एंड रिसर्च. इन सब में वो क्या करेगी, हेल्प करेगी और आइडियाज़ को जो है शेयर करेगी. NETF विल बी अ फैसिलिटेटर. Now, the NETF will have the following functions. First one is provide independent evidence-based advice to central and state government agencies on the technology-based intervention. जो ये NETF होगा वो प्रोवाइड करेगा evidence-based, study-based advice to the central and state governments on the technology-based interventions. Build intellectual and institutional capacities in the educational technology. Envision strategic thrust एरियाज़ इन दिस डोमेन. थ्रस्ट एरियाज़ क्या होंगे, किन पर ज़्यादा फोकस करना है टू यूज़ द टेक्नोलॉजी इन एजुकेशन, तो वो एरियाज़ एंड डोमेन्स कौन आइडेंटिफाई करेगा, NETF करेगा. आर्टिकुलेट न्यू डायरेक्शन फॉर रिसर्च एंड इनोवेशन. NETF नए रास्ते खोलेगा किसके, इनोवेशन एंड रिसर्च के इन द फील्ड ऑफ एजुकेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी. देन to remain relevant in the fast changing field of educational technology, the NETF, National Educational Technology Forum, will maintain a regular flow of authentic data from multiple sources, including educational technology innovators and practitioners, and will engage with a diverse set of researchers to analyze the data. To support the development of a vibrant body of knowledge and practice, the NETF will organize multiple regional and national conferences and workshops. So this is again very important that NETF will organize national and state level and regional level workshops regarding the use of educational technology or use of ICT in educational field. The thrust of technological interventions will be for the purpose of improving teaching, learning and evaluation process, supporting teacher preparation, professional development, enhancing educational access and streamlining educational planning management. Basically what it says कि जो भी हम एजुकेशन में करते हैं, जो टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशंस होंगी, उनका पर्पस एक ही होगा कि हम इम्प्रूवमेंट ला सकें इन ऑल द फील्ड्स ऑफ मैनेजमेंट regarding the educational institutes and daily activities of the teaching learning. They can be improved. A rich variety of educational software for all the above purposes will be developed and made available for the students and teachers at all levels. It is not school level, it is all levels. All such software will be available in major Indian language and will be accessible to a wide range of users, including students in remote areas and दिव्यांग स्टूडेंट्स. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल तो यही है कि टेक्नोलॉजी का क्या बेनिफिट है कि दैट इज इट इज़ एक्सेसिबल थ्रू आउट द इंडिया एंड इट कैन बी इक्वली यूज्ड बाय द दिव्यांग स्टूडेंट्स इफ नेसेसरी मॉडिफिकेशंस कैन आर डन इन द टेक्नोलॉजी. टीचिंग लर्निंग e-content will continue to be developed by all states in all regional languages as well as by the NCERT, CIET, CBSE and iOS. So all these जो agencies हैं, they will also develop the content, e-content, and the states SCRTs will also develop their e-content and other bodies and institutions and will upload onto the Diksha platform. Now these agencies will create their content and they will just upload it on the Diksha platform, and from there all this content will be equally available to the students and the teachers. This platform may also be utilized for teacher professional development through e-content. सो जो टीचर्स का CPD होता है, कंटिन्यूस जो डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम होते हैं, उसमें भी जो है हम टीचर एजुकेशन के लिए टीचर की जो प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट होता है, कंटिन्यूस प्रोफेशनल डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम्स CPDs, उसमें भी हम दीक्षा पोर्टल को यूज़ कर सकते हैं. CIET विल बी स्ट्रेंथन to promote and expand Diksha as well as other educational technologies initiatives. Then suitable equipment will be made available to teachers at the schools so that the teachers can suitably integrate e-content into the teaching learning practices. Like digital boards आ रहे हैं, टीचर्स को जो टैब दिए गए थे, जो स्मार्ट क्लासेस आ रहे हैं, डिजिटल लाइब्रेरीज आ रही हैं, ऑगमेंटेड रियलिटी लैब्स आ रही हैं दिल्ली में. सो ऑल दिस इज गोइंग टू बी यूज्ड बाय द टीचर्स फॉर द एजुकेशन लर्निंग पर्पज. Technology-based education platforms such as Diksha Swam will be better integrated across schools, higher education, and will include ratings reviews by users so as to enable content developers create user-friendly and qualitative content. Now, all the content available on the Diksha and the Swam will be rated by the users, and on the basis of those ratings, the content creators may assess their content. Particular attention will need to be paid to the emerging disruptive technology that will necessarily transform the education system. When the 1986 and 92 NPE, remember that was not NEP, that was NPE was formulated, it was difficult to predict the disruptive effect the internet would have brought. अब इंटरनेट की वजह से देखो, पर्टिकुलरली कोविड एरा के बाद में तो जो एजुकेशनल जो टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ है ना एजुकेशनल फील्ड में, दैट हैज़ एब्सोल्युटली ट्रांसफॉर्म्ड. नाउ यू कैन नॉट थिंक ऑफ एजुकेशन विदाउट यूजिंग द टेक्नोलॉजी. वन ऑफ द परमानेंट टास्क ऑफ द NETF will be to categorize emergent technologies based on their potential and estimated time frame for disruption and to periodically present this analysis to MHRD. जो NETF है वही पहले से जो है असेसमेंट करेगी कि नई टेक्नोलॉजी क्या आ सकती है और उनका पोटेंशियल क्या इम्पैक्ट आएगा एजुकेशन फील्ड पर, और वो डिस्ट्रप्शन आने में कितना टाइम लगेगा, सो दैट द नेसेसरी पॉलिसीज में बी डेवलप्ड. नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन NRF will initiate and expand research efforts in the technology. In the context of AI, NRF may consider a three-pronged approach: advancing core AI research, developing and deploying application-based research, advancing international research efforts to address global challenges in the areas of healthcare, agriculture, climate change using AI. So, what they do? The NRF will initiate or expand research efforts. Advanced core AI में, developing application based research में, advancing international research में, so that कि जो भी हमारे disruptive technologies हैं, they can be easily accommodated in the Indian education system. Now, HEIs will play an active role not only in conducting research on the disruptive technologies. So, first question is, HEI will conduct the research on the disruptive technologies, but also in creating initial version of instructional material, course including online course in cutting edge domains, assessing their impact on specific areas such as professional education. Now, HEIs will introduce new courses on the cutting edge domains such as AI, data sciences, quantum physics. So, all these new courses will be included. I am just giving you examples. Quantum physics is not mentioned in the NEP document itself. Disruptive technologies will make certain jobs redundant. Now, इसका मतलब क्या है कि जब डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी आएगी ना, बहुत सारी जॉब जो है रिडंडेंट हो जाएंगी, फालतू की हो जाएंगी. And hence approaches to skilling and de-skilling that are both efficient and ensure quality will be of increasing importance to create sustained employment. Sustained employment जो डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजीज आती हैं जिसकी वजह से जो है बहुत सारी जो जॉब्स हैं वो वेव आउट हो जाएंगी. फॉर एग्जांपल कोडिंग की जो जॉब है वो AI ने ख़त्म कर दी है. तो जिन लोगों को कोडिंग आती थी उनको न्यू स्किल्स सीखनी होगी और जो एग्जिस्टिंग स्किल्स हैं उनको डी-स्किलिंग की ज़रूरत होगी. Universities will aim to offer PhD and master's program in core areas such as machine learning, as well as multidisciplinary fields, AI plus X, professional areas like healthcare, agriculture and law. When I say that AI plus X, that means AI can be used in many domains. So, AI plus other domains. They may also develop and disseminate course in these areas via platforms like SWAM. For rapid adoption, HEIs may blend these online courses with traditional teaching in undergraduate and vocational programs. Now, it is the duty of the HEIs that they may blend these online courses with traditional teaching and मतलब उसमें से कुछ क्रेडिट डाल दें. फॉर एग्जाम्पल AI जब पढ़ोगे तो आपको कुछ क्रेडिट मिल जाए. दिस कैन बी वन वे. As disruptive technology emerges, schooling and continuing education will assist in raising the general populace awareness of their potential disruptive effect and will also address related issues. Now, एज डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी एमर्ज, जैसी डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी आई, स्कूलिंग एंड कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन विल असिस्ट इन रेजिंग द जनरल पॉपुलर अवेयरनेस अबाउट देयर पोटेंशियल डिस्ट्रप्टिव इफेक्ट। तो जो स्कूलिंग होगी और जो कंटिन्यूइंग एजुकेशन होगी वो जो है ज़्यादा अवेयरनेस फैला पाएगी अबाउट देयर पोटेंशियल डिस्ट्रप्टिव इफेक्ट्स एंड विल ऑल्सो एड्रेस रिलेटेड इशूज़। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जैसी डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी आई तो जो बच्चे स्कूल में पढ़ रहे हैं उनको अगर ये पता लग जाए कि आने वाले फील्ड में ये डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी आएगी तो वो जो अपनी एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी है वो उसके अकॉर्डिंग स्किल सेट डेवलप कर पाएंगे। In school, the study of current affairs, ethical issues will include a discussion on disruptive technologies such those identified by NETF. It is again one of the important point from the exam point of view. What that in the school, the study of current affairs and ethical issues will include a discussion of disruptive technologies. Data is key fuel for AI-based technologies, and it is critical to raise awareness on the issue of privacy, laws, standards associated with data handling and data protection, etc. Now, AI is always the data consuming and data is the fuel for AI. अब जब डेटा ही सब कुछ हो गया है तो डेटा का जो इशू है कि प्राइवेसी क्या होती है, उससे रिलेटेड लॉज क्या हैं और उसके स्टैंडर्ड्स क्या हैं डेटा प्रोवाइड करने के और डेटा स्टोर करने के, दैट विल ऑल्सो बी इंक्लूडेड इन द करिकुलम, और यू कैन से दैट इन एनी ऑफ द वेज द अवेयरनेस अमंग द स्टूडेंट्स विल बी क्रिएटेड. It is also necessary to highlight ethical issues surrounding the development and deployment of AI-based technologies. एथिकल इश्यूज आप जानते हैं, डी फेक बन रहा है, ठीक है, डी फेक से बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो हैं पर्सनैलिटी इश्यूज आ रहे हैं और द फेक वीडियोज़ आर बीइंग अपलोडेड. सो द डिस्ट्रप्टिव टेक्नोलॉजी, द एआई के साथ एथिकल इश्यूज कौन कौन से जुड़े हुए हैं, और जब हम ये एआई का यूज़ करेंगे, उसका डेवलप करेंगे, उसका डिप्लॉय करेंगे तो उनके साथ कौन से जो एथिकल इश्यूज़ हैं जो उसके साथ एसोसिएट होंगे उसके बारे में भी हमें अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी है यूजिंग द एजुकेशन. The next one is online and digital education, ensuring equitable use of technology. Now, जब हम कहते हैं ना equitable, तो इसमें सबसे बड़ा वर्ड आता है digital divide. And this word we have heard so many times during the corona period कि digital divide की वजह से जो rich class है they are able to get the education through the technological changes or on the adoption of a new technology. But जो हमारे गरीब बच्चे हैं, SEDs हैं, वो digital divide की वजह से उस टाइम पे left out थे. The recent rise in the epidemics and pandemics necessitate that we are ready with alternative modes of quality education whenever and wherever traditional and in-person modes of education are not possible. सो हमने जो पेंडेमिक आया, कोरोना का आया, उसमें हमने देखा कि कैसे एक नेसेसिटी पैदा कर दी इन पेंडेमिक ने दैट वी आर रेडी विद द अल्टरनेटिव मोड्स ऑफ क्वालिटी एजुकेशन व्हेन एवर ट्रेडिशनल एंड इन पर्सन मोड्स आर नॉट फिजिबल पॉसिबल. इन दिस रिगार्ड, National Education Policy 2020 recognized the importance of leveraging the advantage of technology while acknowledging its potential risk and dangers. That certainly that it is advantageous, but certainly there are the risk of adopting such technology. However, the benefits of online and digital education cannot be leveraged unless the digital divide is eliminated through concentrated efforts. So if we want to leverage the benefits of the online education, then this digital divide, certain people are having the tools and rest are not having the tools. So this must be reduced, eliminated. Such as Digital India campaign and availability of affordable computing devices. Now, how we can reduce this digital divide? By making affordable digital devices, computing devices that are available to the mass students who can be benefited by the e-content or the technological or the digital education. Then, teachers require suitable training and development to be effective online educators. NEP states itself very clearly that a good teacher in the traditional classroom may not be the good teacher online. Aside from changes required in the pedagogy, online assessment also require a different approach. The traditional assessment is different and the online assessments are different. There are numerous challenges to conducting online examination at a scale, including limitation on the types of questions that can be asked. Only objective can ask you. You cannot go for that much of descriptive questions in an online environment. Handling network issues can be there, power disruption can be there, preventive unethical practices हो सकता है कोई और किसी का पेपर दे दे if the camera is not on, और हो सकता है screen mirroring हो जाए, ठीक है. So all these issues need to be addressed. Certain types of core subjects such as performing arts, science, practicals have limitations in online and digital education space. You cannot have the performing art online. You cannot have the science practical online. Right now it is possible through the use of the virtual reality and the augmented reality, but still there are the limitations which can be overcome to a partial extent with innovative measures. Further, unless online education is blended with the experiential and activity based learning, it will tend to become a screen based education. So it is very different between the screen based education and online education. On the online education blended with some experiential learning and activity based learning, then it becomes online education. Otherwise it is going to be the screen based education with limited focus on social, affective and psychomotor dimensions of the learning. Then this policy NEP 2020 recommends the following key initiatives. The pilot studies to be done by the IGNOU, IITs, NIITs regarding the efficacy of the online education. Now this pilot studies related to appropriate agencies such as NETF, CIT, NIOS and so on will be identified to conduct a series of pilot studies in parallel to evaluate the benefits of integrating education with online education while mitigating the downsides, and also study related areas such as students, device addiction, most preferred formats of e-content. Now अगर हम online education देंगे, that there is a risk that the students may get addicted to the devices. So इन जो agencies हैं जो भी हैं IGNOU, IIT, NIIT, NETF, CIT, NIS will conduct the studies to see the impact of online education. Then digital infrastructure to be developed. There is a need to invest in the creation of open, interoperable, evolvable public digital infrastructure in the education sector that can be used by multiple platforms and point solutions to solve India's scale, diversity, complexity and device penetration. Now we see that the device penetration is different among different areas, regions. When we say that special education zones or aspirational districts, the device penetration is very low. There we cannot provide the digital or the e-content to the students. So हमें एक public infrastructure develop करना पड़ेगा, public digital infrastructure, so that the benefits of the e-education can be transferred to the SEDs or the special education zones and aspirational districts. Online teaching platforms and tools appropriate existing e-learning platforms such as SWAYAM, Diksha will be extended to provide teachers with a structured, user-friendly, rich set of assistive tools for monitoring progress of the learning. Now at the SWAYAM and Diksha, what we feel that the content is available, but how to assess the progress of their learners, then more and more user-friendly, structured tools will be provided to the teachers. Content creation digital repository and dissemination. A digital repository of content including creation of coursework, learning games, simulations, augmented reality and virtual reality will be developed with a clear public system of ratings by the users on effectiveness and quality. I think ये clear है. Now addressing the digital divide. This can be your interview question also. Given the fact that there still persists a substantial section of the population whose digital access is highly limited, the existing mass media such as television, radio, community radio will be extensively used for telecast and broadcast. Such educational programs will be made available 24/7. Okay, now the TV channels will be used, like DTH is also being used for educational purposes, and the content is available 24/7. Then virtual labs. Existing e-learning platforms such as Diksha, SWAYAM and SWAYAM Prabha will also be leveraged for creating virtual labs so that all the students have equal access to quality practical hands-on experiment based learning experiences. There is a limitation of the online education that the practicals cannot be done. But for this issue, the practical labs will be established, virtual labs will be established, so that the experiment based learning can be done. Then training and incentive for teachers. Teachers will undergo rigorous training in learner-centric pedagogy and how to become high-quality online content creators themselves using online teaching platform tools. For example, you all are currently teachers, but will be soon the head of the schools. So there you should train your teachers that they should create the e-content. Now, the NEP envisions a teaching fraternity who is capable of creating the learner-centric pedagogy and create high-quality online content. Then, online assessment and examinations. Appropriate bodies such as proposed National Assessment Center (NAC) or PARAK, school boards, NT and other identified bodies will design and implement assessment frameworks encompassing design of competencies, portfolios, rubrics, standardized assessment, assessment analytics. Studies will be undertaken to pilot new ways of assessment using educational technologies for focusing on 21st centuries. So जो NAC और परख होगा, they will devise the new ways of assessment using the educational technologies, focusing on 21st century schools. जो 21st century skills हैं उनका assessment properly किया जा सके. Then blended mode of learning may be adopted. Laying down the standards. As research on the online and digital education emerges, NETF and other appropriate bodies shall set up standards of content, technology and pedagogy for online digital teaching learning. So, who is going to lay down the standards? NETF. Okay, National Education Technological Forum. So, this is all for this video. In the next video, we will just complete this NEP. Only one point is left, 24.5. आई होप यू लाइक दिस वीडियो. अगर आपको कोई भी लगता है कंटेंट में कोई इंप्रूवमेंट किया जा सकता है, प्लीज़ डू लेट अस नो थ्रू योर कमेंट्स एंड वी अप्रिशिएट योर वैल्यूएबल फीडबैक बिकॉज वी आर को लर्नर्स. आई एम नॉट टीचिंग एनी वन, वी आर को लर्नर्स एंड वी आर को लर्निंग. Thank you, principals and vice principals.